A stroke of his fingers against her lips. She vanished. What is it called? There's a love triangle. Very high responsibility books. Kind of stressful. Hello y'all, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be going over my TBR for the month of May. Now with that being said, I do have to let y'all know that I am enacting a book ban on myself until I finish these books. Kindle Unlimited does not count, and the reason why I'm doing this is because I have 2 moves to get through until I'm at more of a permanent residence, so to speak. I am graduating in 2 weeks, moving back home, and then moving again once I get my apartment set up. So book ban until then, and it's already feeling pretty painful. Okay, let's get into it. The first book is oh so popular. I've heard it talked about 1,000,001 times. People seem to love it and rave about it, and personally I'm a quarter of the way through and I already know I'm gonna love it. It's almost kind of leaning towards a 5-star read for me so far, which is surprising because I don't usually love this genre, and there doesn't really seem to be any romance in it, so that's even all the more shocking. And it's gonna be Project Hail Mary. Now, you can see it on the title, this guy is also the author of The Martians. That's also pretty cool, another popular read. And this book specifically though follows Ryland Grace. He's the sole survivor on a desperate last chance mission, and if he fails, humanity and Earth itself will perish. Except that right now, he doesn't know that. He can't even remember his own name, let alone the nature of his assignment or how to complete it. All he knows is that he's been asleep for a very long time, and he's just been awakened to find himself millions of miles away from home. With nothing but 2 corpses for company, his crewmates dead, his memories fuzzily returning, Ryland realizes that an impossible task now confronts him. Hurtling through space on this tiny ship, he must puzzle out an impossible scientific mystery and conquer an extinction-level threat to our species. And with the clock ticking down and the nearest human being light years away, he's got to do it all alone. Or does he? The "or does he" is what gets you. And I feel like when reading this, the science within it tickles my brain the right way. I don't know if it's kind of because I'm partial. I am a psychology major, so there is a bit of STEM going on, sciencey things going on within the major, but the science in this completely different than the science that I have to learn about, and it is so interesting. They kind of spoon feed it to you in a way to where it's fun and it's really digestible. Another thing to note is that the main character Ryland, he's kind of a little bit of like a dry humor sort of situation, and I feel like if we had a different male character who's like a little bit more panicky, the book would not be nearly as much fun as it is. So it's kind of something else I'm loving about it, just the jokes and like the way he's perceiving the situation, how he's handling his stress, makes it all the more enjoyable, coupled with the science and the threat of our world becoming extinct. So yeah. I'll probably make a reading vlog for this, so you'll probably be hearing about this very shortly. Okay, next up, obviously I'm excited about all of the books that I have. That's the reason why they're on my TBR, but this one in particular I've had for about a year now, and I've been putting it off because for one, I don't think the series was complete when I got it, and for two, you know when you know a book is gonna hit you so hard, you just want to put it off a little bit and like drag out the enjoyment of it. That's kind of what I'm doing for this book, as well as with the series, the Encyclopedia Fairy series. So I'm kind of doing that for this as well because this series is also so good. So yeah, that's okay. That was a pretty big side note, but the book that I'm referring to is going to be Legendborn. I will say for this book, I'm like 16 pages in, basically nothing, not even making a dent in a book like this. And I did hear some discussion or discourse rather about the fact that it is kind of what is it called? There's a love triangle potentially going on. I'm quite sure that she does end up with just one person in the end, but I haven't looked further into it because I'm not the type of person who cares about love triangles. In fact, I find them pretty entertaining, but I do know some people avoid books that have them at all costs. So if you are that kind of person, double check, make sure that this does or doesn't have a love triangle, and then go from there. As for the summary, after her mother dies in an accident, 16-year-old Bree Matthews wants nothing to do with her family memories or childhood home. A residential program for bright high schoolers at UNC Chapel Hill seems like the perfect escape. until Bree witnesses a magical attack her very first night on campus. A flying demon feeding on human energies. A secret society of so-called Legendborn students that hunt the creatures down, and a mysterious teenage mage who calls himself a Merlin, and who attempts and fails to wipe Bree's memory of everything she saw. The mage's failure reveals Bree's own unique magic and a buried memory with a hidden connection, the night her mother died. Another Merlin was at the hospital. Now that Bree knows there's more to her mother's death than what's on the police report, she'll do whatever it takes to find out the truth, even if that means infiltrating the Legendborn as one of their initiates. She recruits Nick, a self-exiled Legendborn with his own grudge against the group, and their reluctant partnership pulls them deeper into the society's secrets and closer to each other. But when the Legendborn reveal themselves as the descendants of King Arthur's knights and explain that a magical war is coming, Bree has to decide how far she'll go for the truth and whether she should use her magic to take the society down or join the fight. I think that sounds pretty amazing. I think the mythical aspects to it also as good as everything else. You get drama, you get romance, you also get the King Arthur retelling mixed in there. I love that. I am also a pretty big fan of Merlin, so reading that put a smile on my face. It sounds good, and I love the representation, you know what I'm saying? So that's cool as well. Next up is another read. I think I got this one around this time last year, so it's kind of been a year for this book as well. And it's going to be The God and the Gumiho. Is that how you say it? I'm kind of slacking. But the cover is pretty cool, super gorgeous in my opinion. I like the style, I think it's pretty unique. And the summary is as follows. Kim has retired from a life of devouring souls. She is, simply put, too full. Once known as the infamous Scarlet Fox, and annoying a particularly irritating, if unfairly handsome, trickster god as often as she can. We love that. That god is part of the fallen. That god has been exiled from the heavenly kingdom. He now begrudgingly resides in the mortal realm, working toward his redemption and suffering through his interactions with the particularly infuriating, if sneakily charming, Gumiho barista at his favorite cafe. But when a powerful demon escapes from the underworld and threatens to end all of humanity, the emperor of their land offers the exiled god an exciting bargain. Kill this rogue creature, as well as the legendary and elusive Scarlet Fox, and he will be reinstated as a god. Kim, however, has no intention of being caught. The fallen god might be a trickster god, but she has a trick of her own that he'll never see coming. Teaming up. As his assistant, Kim Honey will undermine and sabotage his investigation right under his overly pointing nose. Sure, she'll help him kill the demon, but she certainly won't allow him to uncover her secret identity while they're at it. As the bickering partners track their case down a path of mayhem and violence, the god and the Gumiho find themselves inescapably drawn to each other. But will the unlikely couple stand together to prevent the apocalypse? Or will they let their secrets tear them and the world apart? Okay, I'm kind of getting a common theme so far with the books that I have for my May TBR. Very high responsibility books. Kind of stressful. Okay, next up, I'm really excited about this book, and to give a little hint as to what it might be, this author also wrote the Shatter Me series. So if you don't know what this book is by now, it's gonna be This Woven Kingdom. Now these books as well are gorgeous. I believe the series is completed. The other books are just as beautiful, and I assume just as amazing. Okay, time for the summary, the most important part. So this is a forbidden romance, Persian mythology, which is also pretty cool. I'm just gonna read you guys like this first little like mini prologue page, because it's the length of a summary and it looks just as enticing. When I read it, I was like, interesting. Who are you? He whispered, her chin lifted at that, her lips parting in surprise. She studied him with wide, shining eyes and appeared to be as confused by him as he was by her. Cameron took comfort in this, in the realization that they'd confounded each other equally. Will you not tell me your name? He asked. She shook her head, the movement slow and uncertain. Cameron felt paralyzed. He could not explain it. His body seemed anchored to hers. He drew closer by micrometers, propelled to do so by a force he could not hope to understand. What mere minutes ago might have struck him as lunacy now seemed to him essential. To know what it might be like to hold her, to breathe in the scent of her skin, to press his lips to her neck. He was scarcely aware of himself when he touched her, light as air, faint as a fading memory. A stroke of his fingers against her lips. She vanished. Yay! I don't read a lot of forbidden romance books, so I actually am entirely excited about this. From what I've read, obviously he's a prince and she is literally the complete and utter opposite of that, so forbidden romance indeed. And it's cool because she's kind of like a fashionista girly. From the first 30 or so pages that I've read, she was like mending and working on this dress. It was really, really cool. I love when authors give characters hobbies like that. Next up, this book I feel like is all the rave. At least it was a few months ago, or maybe even a few months before that when I bought it, when I was hearing about it a lot more. I don't know if it's still popular, but I think it's gonna be just as good, obviously, now as it was then. And the book is going to be Heavenly Bodies. Now, for those of you who have seen my other videos, I was supposed to read this during April, but I kept putting it off for other books. I don't know why I keep putting it off, because I think I would love this story. And look at this, so many beautiful covers. This isn't the old cover it used to have. In fact, it used to be available on Kindle Unlimited, and then I believe it got picked up to be trad published, so I believe that's partially what this change is about. But either way, still extremely gorgeous. We love that. Can love overcome fate? Love that as well. But yeah, I think it's really cool. Okay, anyways, in a world ruled by the cruel and merciless stars, Alara has been cursed by fate. A prophecy promises she will fall for a star, but that it will kill them both. So when Erriu, star of wrath and war, descends to wreak havoc on Alara's kingdom of night, she flees her home, only to be captured by the neighboring Helos, kingdom of light, and falls straight into the arms of the enemy prince. Fearing that Erriu might turn his sights to Helos next, Prince Lorenzo is forced to train Alara as a weapon, one worthy of battling against the tyrannical reign of the stars. But there are shadows even within the kingdom of light, and they threaten to reveal the darkness in Lorenzo's past and the ancient magic that slumbers in Alara's veins. And with it all comes an undeniable star-crossed pull between Alara and Lorenzo that neither can seem to resist. Okay, I won't lie, I was freestyling the names a little bit. I sincerely doubt that's how you pronounce them, but that's how I'm gonna pronounce them. I was just like, yeah, let's ad-lib the names. So those aren't the names. But yeah, so obviously there's a theme that I didn't even pick up on for these books, and I reckon once I read or at least finish this Woven Kingdom that it'll have the similar or same theme. I reckon it's because most fantasy books do have this as a theme, but for all the books I picked up to have it, like, where's the variety? I'm gonna be so stressed reading these, knowing in the back of my mind that the world's not gonna end, but that the author will be playing me the whole time trying to convince me that it could. I'm definitely gonna break these up by some cozier or like dark fantasy romance books in between, just because I don't want to be so stressed for the whole month of May. That was it. When it comes to my TBR videos in the future, they're not going to be this boring, I promise you. I do have a little bit of a cutesy artsy plan coming up, but until I move into my new apartment, they're gonna have to wait. So this is it. Have a nice day, you guys. Bye.
Yes, babe.
Look at her ears.